Hello, it's Don, the Nearly Historical Railroad channel. So anyways, we do model railroading stuff and things, and we just show you what we're doing. So anyways, we've been working on the staging yard, which is under here. You can't see it, but it's been like sideways forever. And my dad and I have been converting it over to DCC, and it's just easier with it sideways. Well, we actually got it laid down flat. Now it's kind of on the ground, and we're gonna, I think, run some stuff on it while it's down low so we can get to the top of the track work in case we need to fix anything. So we got all the bus line in, we got the circuit breaker put in for it, and we're just gonna try and run something on it. Yeah. But first, I'll show you a little bit of the video of my dad and I actually tilting this thing down flat. Oh, but all of our bus lines are out of place, so glad I planned that right a few years back. Okay, so now let's try and run some stuff on that and see what happens. Let me show you some of the electronics we temporarily sort of set up for it real quick. So in the past video, we put in this PSX right there, and that is going to run the staging yard. And it's going to these terminal blocks here. So right now we just have some jumper wires on there, and we just grabbed this little switch. It was already wired up. We just grabbed it and I screwed it on there real quick. And just put that on there so that we could really easily just turn that staging yard on and off, because we went through each track and kind of hooked up one of the yard tracks at a time as far as feeders goes, and then we would flip it on, make sure there's no shorts, flip it back off, hook up the next one, and repeat several times. 12 tracks. Someone was wondering how many tracks the yard has. There are 12. Also, I want to show you this. This looks like a mess, and it is a little bit, but it has a purpose. So these are all the main bus lines coming off of the circuit breakers and auto reversing boards. And I intentionally, years ago, made them extra long, knowing that this staging yard would go in place. And these would all have to go underneath it and around the back side of it. So we've kind of moved them out of the way a little bit. We're actually probably gonna go ahead and disconnect all of them when we actually raise the staging yard up. But that's why it's kind of a jumbled mess, just because, you know, like I said, years ago, we left extra wire on that so we can get around the staging yard. Here's the locomotive that we're going to use to kind of test out that staging yard. I'm gonna clean the wheels on it. My dad has already cleaned, I think, all the track on the staging yard. So, somebody was wondering how many tracks were in the yard. We didn't know, so we counted them, and there's 12 tracks. And there's also some that kind of go off this other way that we don't have in yet, and a few that go back that direction. They're shorter, but as far as these main ones, there's 12. We're gonna see how long they are. That's 6 feet. So I'm gonna say the shortest track out here is 6 feet long. Then we'll go look at the longest one here. 15. So this center track, there's 2 of them. They're 15 feet long. So those are the longest ones. So they range between 6 feet and 15 feet. So that's pretty good. Power it on.
We have power.
Got power. This is all that one. That one. Oh, you got it. All right, that's all. I think. One of the subscribers of this channel, John H., he leaves comments from time to time. Well, he actually used to run trains on this standard gauge layout back when it was in Downey, California, before my dad and I got it. So we were working on the staging yard, and my dad and I called him up and just asked him some questions about the staging yard. So in this next bit of video, my dad and I are testing out running a locomotive on that staging yard. And I put in there part of the conversation that we had with John. So that was kind of cool. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. And then after that, Scott actually showed up, and we actually got the staging yard lifted up in place. So the rest of the video will be us wrangling the staging yard, getting that in place. So thanks again, Scott, for coming over and helping out with that. Glad we were able to do it with the three of us. So here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know they did that lower yard fairly early.
Okay.
Wow.
It was in the early 70s when that yard went in.
Okay.
Because my first time over there, I believe the first time I went there and started hanging out a lot was 72, and I think the yard was already in.
Okay.
But the first time I contacted Richard and Dennis, after they moved to Downey and I went over there, that yard was not in yet. That was in 1970 maybe. So, because I remember the pictures that they took when they were dragging because they built that yard in the garage.
Oh.
And then fit in underneath the layout later.
Oh.
And I wish something you did, I wish they would have done, was that track that went around the back of the diesel facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
That should have been put in when it was still in Downey.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the first time my dad and I have ever run anything on this. We got to see it. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the crossover, we just hot wired that straight through for now, and it worked. So that's good. Look, Scott's here. Stick your hand in there. There you go. Scott's here. I'm gonna try lifting this thing some.
Yeah.
But so what I want to have a clamp ready. But what I'm
That's for two on each side.
so I'm just okay. So I'm just thinking if we can just lift it like that.
That'll help it. There we go.
You want to lift it up?
Yeah, if you can.
Up on that
I'll
side.
lift it up and you can screw it in.
Gotcha. How long is gonna go through? Oh, that's what I was afraid of.
I forgot about that. There we go. Under
It's
it.
clearly
Yes.
like a footstool.
Okay. Let me see this.
You can go higher. There you
On
go.
it. All right.
You're getting pretty close at this end.
Yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah, probably just another 3 inches on
All right. So let's try
The other end?
some at the far end.
Yeah. Cause I could do this and.
Oh, but you're not gonna hold it though. I know.
Oh, that's why you don't have to you can let go right now, and then right banging this up. Now I just have the one in there,
Yeah.
but I'm moving
yeah.
out so you can pivot.
Oh, right. Okay. You want to go more? Or are we okay?
Let's see, we go forward.
Yeah, go more.
Okay, we're a little floppy in the middle. So let's
That's
just-
okay. We'll go back to the middle.
Oh, okay. Getting weird on us. Okay.
Actually, there's more. This side, you don't have to do anything at the moment.
Oh, you might.
Well, it is real crooked. Scott's side's gonna have to go down.
That's what I'm saying. You might want to split the difference.
Right. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know it was that far.
I didn't either.
I did.
Yeah, you can sit.
Like that.
Yeah, it was very close. See where that end is down there?
Well,
I don't think
it's
we're
off
gonna
the
mess with it.
ground.
And it looks level.
Okay. All right, so we actually have it lifted up. I think it's actually probably an inch or two too high, which is fine. But now we need to actually bring it forward and back. So we may have to lower it a little bit to do that. But at least now we can get over, can you even see it? I'm in the way. Over the electronics and stuff now. All right. Back with,
Hey, watch your
head.
Yeah.
Wear a hat.
Wear a hat. Wear a hat.
Oh, I didn't even wear mine. I left it.
All right, be back with you in a moment.
Well, time for me to go, and the big boys are going to continue to play.
Drive safe going home, huh?
On the staging yard, we ran into a little bit of a length issue. We're gonna fix it, and then I'll explain to you what we've done. It's super close to fitting. Okay, so the short story is we've having to take about an inch off the end of this layout. It won't quite fit at the other end. And it's all just because of how the original layout up here was connected to the wall in the old room that this lived in. Apparently we probably left maybe 2 inches behind in the old room that this was originally built in. And that has made this layout, the bottom part, staging yard, a little bit long. So we just cut all these tracks, and we're gonna take the saw and cut it maybe 2 inches off. Probably only need an inch, but we'll take a little more. Okay, we have a mess and a tripping hazards and everything. So basically, the staging yard is very close to where it needs to be. Now, keep in mind that we moved this layout. This blue leg, that was part of the original leg. And that is part of the staging yard leg. It was all one piece, and that went down to the floor. Now, the really interesting challenge when we moved this layout, we figured out that we had to take this staging yard out from underneath the layout first before we could move this upper part of the layout. So that was a very unique challenge to that. So in doing so, it kind of left us these partial legs. So everything is just kind of supported, a couple screws and a clamp in here, just some 1x4s going across there. So you can see it's really close to where it was originally. So I think once we get this re-secured with our other legs or whatever, we'll probably take these out. These 1x4s underneath the staging yard, we put those in place to help it, to help hold it together when we moved it as we traveled. So those may move, or they may stay, we're not sure. So basically, none of this layout is gonna run because we've disconnected all these wires and they're all up there. We need to run them underneath the staging yard now. So when I say that we've got it really close to where it needs to be, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is the end of the yard, and to the left over here is where it goes into the lower portion of the layout. And right here is where it connects. You can see right here, there's about maybe a 3/4 inch, 1 inch gap there. And that's the only difference we have to make up. And that gap is there because we had to put this leg in, and I can't show you quite, you maybe can see it a little bit. But that's hitting the layout there a little bit, the staging yard. But those 2 tracks we can move. We already cut that out a little bit, but we need to cut it out, well, just like an inch more and we'll have it. So so everything is like basically where it needs to be. So the next steps is really you know, getting real supports in here. These are all just here to hold it at the moment, but to kind of figure out exactly how we want to support all this and get it all secured really well, get that notched out so we can get it pushed into place a little bit. Like I said, we had to cut off about an inch or two down at that far end to make it all fit just the way it was. So that's all done. So that's good. And like I said, it's, you know, all the DCC is wired up. We ran trains on it earlier, and that's a good sign. So yeah, this is quite the project, and we're actually really close to making it work. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for now. So anyways, got to see Scott. That was very helpful that he was here. So thanks for coming over, Scott, for that. And I guess we will see you next time. So hit the thumbs up button, kick the YouTube algorithm into gear. All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Bye.
So I'm surprised that you did 110 videos straight.
Me too.
Yeah, really.
That was incredible, because, you know, I used to do video at the college, and there's no way on earth I would have tried tackling something like that and then still have a life and want to play on the layout. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.